The so-called gypsy jazz genre has been with us for 90 years. Formed in 1934, the Quintet of the Hot Club of France saw two very, very different musicians, Stephen Grappelli on the violin, Django Reinhardt on guitar, form this strings-only band. People at the time going, where's the saxophone, where's the piano? So it took a little while to get off the ground, but then it went viral, as it were. Now, we have a violin, 3 guitars in the band, so you have Django Reinhardt playing lead guitar and then 2 other rhythm guitarists and a bass, double bass. I've got my shovel here because that's kind of the closest thing I've got to a double bass. But instruments wise, you don't need to worry. Gypsy jazz sounds great on a Telecaster and a Fender Precision bass. It's not about the instruments, it's about those musical thoughts and the intentions and the little bits of theory along the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate some of these things and then work on a tune so that you can see how it's all put together. Let's have a look. So on bass, we've got the root and the fifth. That's the mainstay of bass for lots and lots of genres. And actually it's very difficult to keep that going and not sort of wander off or just to keep the timing really solid. So on bass guitar, we'd have the 5th fret on the E string, which gives us an A. So on that 4th string, the thickest string. Then on the 7th fret on the next string gives us our 5th. And then we have the root again, an octave up on the 2nd string, 7th fret. Like that. Also, you have a few little rhythmic things that you can impart to carry that sort of swing groove forward. On bass, I'm basically playing on beats 1 and 3. So I'm keeping the bass drum. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That kind of thing. The rhythms in between. You've got those sort of ghost note kind of things. So I'm going to set up the groove while the guitar does its thing. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's your bass line going there. So, in conjunction with the bass is playing the bass drum, beats 1 and 3. The guitar really does the snare drum work on 2 and 4. But for the chord, we have this thing called a minor 6, which is a big sort of thing with gypsy jazz minor kind of tonalities. So for A minor 6, we've got middle finger on the 5th fret on the 6th string. Then index finger on the 4th fret on the 4th string. And then annular finger on the 5th fret on the 3rd string. Note there is no 5th string here. We've just got the 6th, the 4th and the 3rd. You can also flatten this finger across all of those strings at the 5th fret to get some brighter sort of inversions of the chords. So the 5th string you mute with the middle finger. So I've just got the 5 out of the 6 there. So I'm going to play all downstrokes according to the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's not really how it works. We've got the weak ones on 1 and 3 and the strong ones on 2 and 4 with some swing components with your upstroke of your plectrum. That kind of thing. So, in conjunction with the bass then, I'm just going to keep those chords going. Okay, so we've got the bass and the rhythm guitar chugging away, doing that proper full-on gypsy jazz style, keeping the beat, a really nice groove on which the lead parts can go, the solos, the improvisation, whatever it is, and on whatever instrument. Now the scale, well, the answer is you can play quite a few different scales, but actually the harmonic minor works really nicely over this, and the Dorian mode as well. So I'm going to go through both of those. The harmonic minor does this. So we've got 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 6, 7, back a fret, 4, 5, 7, and then 5, 6, 4, 5. Now, we don't want to spend too much time in the bass here because it'll get sort of swamped by the chords. So playing some material on maybe the first 3 strings would be a good place to start. Let's see what happens with that. So we've got that sort of harmonic minor thing. We can also do the Dorian mode. So if we start on the last finger this time, we've got 5th fret, then we've got 2, 3, 5, 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 4, 2, 3, 5. Translate that to the violin and we end up with something where you can, you know, if you've done your scales on violin, the A minor harmonic, we could do something with that. Now, of course, we don't want to go up and down scales. We don't want that at all. We want to get something that's creative over that rhythmic sort of line of those few phrases. So with that in mind, the next thing to do is to do minor swing. Let's have a look at that. So following on from the first half where I just described the rhythm of A minor 6th here, that sort of thing. Minor swing has 3 chords in it. We have chords 1, 4 and 5, so it's basically like a blues almost. Now, but just a different sequence. We've got A minor 6th here. If I move it up to 10th fret, I get D minor 6th. Fine. And then the 3rd chord is called E7. How does that work? Surely it's B minor 6th if the theory is anything to go by with the other 2. You've got A, B and D. But it's called E7 because the notes are in actually a different order in terms of E7. This will become clear when I put the bass with this. The theory is that A minor 6th, has the root note, the 6th, and then the minor 3rd to give you a minor chord. Here, we've got the 5th, the major 3rd, and the 7th. Now, this is all reference to your E, which is in the bass. So if it's an E, there's your 5th, there's your minor 3rd, your major 3rd, and then the 7th. So the sequence goes 2 bars of each thing. A minor 6th, D minor 6th, E7, A minor 6th. Second half, D minor 6th, A minor 6th, E7, A minor 6th. So it does this. It's that sort of thing. There are little variations that you could put in. On the last 2 bars, for example, you could actually have a 1 bar of A and 1 bar of E. And then that's the start of the sequence again. You can also have little chromatic things like F7 to E7 and then to A minor. So it just dresses it up a bit. But for now, we're just going to stick with the 3 chords. Now, the scale that I described the harmonic minor in A harmonic minor, goes really nicely over all of these three chords. So when you're soloing, you can just use that one scale. Sure, you can use loads and loads of other notes and ideas and inversions and voicings, but for now we'll just keep it like this. Gypsy jazz sounds great when it grooves and is quite simple, and you don't have this sort of frantic sort of soloing. Of course, Django Reinhardt was known for those sort of things, but when you're just grooving along, it's really nice to phrase things. Now, with the bass then, I described in the first half having a root note and a fifth. So wherever you are on the bass, if you're playing on the fourth string, for example, the fifth string is 2 frets and a string away from the root. And then the other root is straight across on the second string. This means that any root has a fifth either 2 frets and a string away or across a string directly. This means that you can actually play this sequence in one position on the bass. So A minor, D minor, E7, A minor, D minor, A minor, E7, A minor. Now, in the E7 there, because of the way that I'd structured the bass, the A minor to E, the A minor was A, E, but then the E7 is E and B. But the trouble is I had 2 E's together there. So if I've got A minor to E7, I could do this. I could actually use the fifth first in that bar. It doesn't matter which one you use, because it's so clear to the listener with all the chords and the bass that it's actually really rock solid as a thing. Now, I'm going to set up the bass and the rhythm guitar, and then we'll do some soloing over that. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.